Go roll. Go rock and roll. Let me light this cigarette up because I think I'm through with the burden for the night because ain't nothing left for this motherfucker.
Hey, yo, 12 o'clock. I'm out.
Yeah.
I gotta go
that's
do
cool.
ball,
That's cool.
I gotta go do bald head whole shit with my man.
Watch out now.
Oh shit. Okay. All right. Congratulations.
Well, shit, ain't nothing wrong. We all need love.
Just don't go back to the JR.
You ain't gonna call him no sinner. You ain't gonna call him no sinner, Kennard.
It's just love. I mean, you
ain't gonna call him no sinner.
No, there ain't no sinner.
Oh, I'm not no sinner. I'm not married.
Right.
I'm still not a sinner.
Cool. You in love.
Like
Nothing wrong with being in love. We all.
So you just like to call folks sinner just because you want to. Because you call eating booty like groceries is a sin, but Ebony doing bald head whole shit ain't no sin.
It is.
No, sin is good. Evil
is good. And ass is good.
Ebony, I know you was a sinner.
You get a piece of evil ass.
Oh shoot.
That's how you know it's the bomb. You know what I'm talking about? Let me go ahead. But look, we got, we go every which way. That's the thing about the UnCommon Sense show. I ain't even give a proper introduction, but fuck it. Because you know what? This is our show. We do what the fuck we want to do. And we have good motherfucking content every week. And we come out here, we kick it, we do our thing, we sip on motherfucking drink, we smoke, we chill the fuck out, and we let y'all know what the real deal is. Now check this out. We're gonna wrap it up, but we're gonna end y'all with some real shit. Now check this out. What I want to know is, well, okay, look, I'm sorry. You ain't gotta laugh, Alicia, damn. See you laughing. Look, no, real shit. Okay. In lieu of the events and everything, going back to the Lightfoot and the McDonald's CEO situation. Okay. What y'all think? What's the next move? I guess that's what I'm trying to say. What's the next move from here? We know that text transpired. What do you think our people should do from this point? We already saw the protest. Do y'all agree with the protest? Or do y'all?
No.
Oh, well, okay. Well, Em, speak on it.
No. What the hell is protesting getting us?
What exactly are they protesting? Because I don't think he said anything.
That's another question, because they was talking about a pay raise and the minimum wage raise. What the hell they got to do with anything?
I thought it was just me.
No. So, for one, I don't see the point in protesting. I don't really, at this point in the game, the fucking revolution or whatever this shit, the 1776, wasn't no motherfucking protest. They came and took that shit.
Right.
That's all they do is come and take shit. So why the fuck we got to protest and ask and beg and whine about the shit?
Because I think we're more content with a piece of the white people's pie.
And that's what we fucked up at. That's what we fucked up at.
We want to integrate, because then the thing is with integration, you could always get a handout here and there. You could always get white folks to come and throw you a bone here and there. But when it comes to being segregated,
that go both ways, because when we had our own, they came and took that shit too. They bombed us. You know what I'm saying?
I get that.
So with that way, we can't win either way.
Well, here's the other
but
side.
I'd rather die trying to have my own than being content with the little scraps and shit that they give us.
I mean, I get that too, but see, if we was more organized, like I always talk about the gangbangers, because I don't like them motherfuckers. That's just my personal opinion. But
you gotta dislike all gangbangers. That go from politics,
like the Chicago police
you can't put the politicians.
Police are the biggest gang.
Exactly.
The biggest
gang.
I'm so not buying that. I'm not buying that.
Let me tell you something.
A gang is a group. And everything that you is more than one or two of is a fucking group.
Gang out here. That's true.
Okay,
I agree.
Let me prove you wrong real quick.
Oh shit.
Let me prove you wrong. Damn, I couldn't even do the thing that Alicia was just telling me, because I'm a little faded. Maybe I'll do it next time. Okay. Gang by definition, there's two definitions. I'm gonna read the first one. Gang by definition is an organized group of criminals, and y'all compare the police officers.
They are criminals.
Yes.
They
Yes.
are. They murder
Yes.
people. They murder people
Yes.
consistently on TV. We see them killing people. When you murder somebody, that makes you a criminal. You're a criminal.
True indeed. But who can you
And
call
I
on?
mean, all crimes ain't death. You do know that, right?
I know
All
that.
killing is not the only fucking crime. So when you
Well,
say
but I mean, but if we-
an organization of criminals, let's think real hard. Aside from the police,
Okay.
I mean, the education system. What is that? The school to prison pipeline. That's criminal.
Yep.
The Food and Drug Administration. That's fucking criminal.
Yep.
Pharmaceutical companies. That's criminal. The
Yep.
judicial system. That's criminal. So
Check.
there's a lot of gangs out here.
Check.
All right,
And ain't none of them black.
What's this though? But how many of them is killing all of us?
All of them. All
But
of
now,
them.
You
talking
can't
about-
go from
Pharmaceutical
them.
number one.
How you going from one to
Pharmaceutical
another?
gang that's killing
I'm
us.
going from one to another. I'm saying, I'm asking the question. How many of us, who's killing more of us right now today? Black gang.
Food and Drug Administration. The
Yeah,
Food
the
and Drug
FDA.
Administration.
Pharmaceutical.
Okay,
is
fair
killing
enough.
us more
But
than
it ain't just
anything.
us. When we talk, wait, hold on. When we talk, it ain't just us with the FDA.
If we are not, okay, it's like this. If we're not voluntarily dying and we eat anything that the FDA approves or suggests or manufactures, they're killing us.
But don't act like we the only ones that's eating this shit. Everybody got grocery stores and all the food is fucked up. They got
Exactly. And who is
Right.
who
So
is
they
over
black
all
people.
of that? Who is
They-
over all of that?
But this is what I'm saying. The FDA shit just ain't exclusive to black people. Everybody got grocery stores. Everybody, wait, this is another point.
But not everybody can afford to have a choice of what they eat either.
Right. I get that.
Everybody has a choice. So my thing is even though there are grocery stores, believe me, you pay for what you get.
I'm not taking away from that. What I'm saying is, was exclusive of black people. Or at
It
least
don't
close to
have to be.
exclusive.
It's not always about black and white. It's also about rich and poor. We just happen to be the majority of the poor.
So you basically saying that this white motherfuckers in trailer homes that's doing drive-by shootings and selling drugs and doing all this crazy shit.
You think
No,
white
wait,
people
hold
doing
on.
this shit?
You thought
In
you
trailer
really
homes?
thought it was just black people killing black people. You really thought that, huh?
Y'all think that in trailer homes they doing
Hey,
this
can
shit?
we
No,
actually
Proximity
look up like
crime.
the
It's
FBI
called
statistics?
proximity crime. You only gonna
Right.
kill the people that you close to.
I
Because
know that
goddamn it,
part.
I'm not gonna drive all the way down on 22nd in Chinatown and kill me some triads. I'm gonna stay right here where I'm comfortable and kill who I know.
Right.
It's
But,
just like that.
but y'all,
So it's not so
honestly-
because it's not Asian on Asian crime. I don't hear that. I don't hear white on white crime. I don't hear Polish on Polish crime. They only do that because it's like a denotation.
No, you don't
Okay,
hear it.
so-
They don't
so-
talk about
so
it. They only talk
I just
about
want y'all
black
to
on black
know-
crime. It's killings in all nations. It's
I
killings
just looked up
everywhere.
the FBI stats for murder.
Broadcast the
Go
black
ahead,
on
go
black
ahead, Alicia, I
crime.
wanna hear
That's
it.
the problem. They don't talk about the other races that's killing up each other.
Why? I mean, and the reason is why is because if everybody's doing the same thing, why are we any worse? So let's only talk about what they do, so make them look bad. You
So
get
wait.
what I'm saying? It's the narrative.
That goes
They
back to
control
what
the
Alicia
narrative.
said. We don't own nothing, so we can't put
Exactly.
out. We don't own anything, so we can't put it out. But if we own, it's being shown every day with these phones. Like, I'm not a big fan of technology, but for that reason alone, they letting it be known that it's just not in black on black. It's just not in the black communities that they're killing each other. They're killing each other in all
The fact that you can say black on black crime is still denotating. It's still
Can I give
emphasizing
y'all
the
the
fact
stats for the
that
FBI?
there's a name for what we do when it's what everybody do. That's what I'm saying.
Can I give y'all the stats now, please?
Yeah.
Okay, so the 2020s, they said the 2020s, the FBI they ain't finished those yet, but 2019,
Yeah.
white on white crime, 2,594. African American against African American, 2,574. So they're around the same. Black on black is actually less than white on white. Other races, we're gonna leave all them other races alone. So white people are killing more white people than black people are killing
People
black
are
people.
killing
But you
black
never
people.
hear
No,
you never hear the word.
You ain't gonna hear about it. Exactly.
I'm pulling this up. This is on.
It's
And this is the
crime.
FBI
Right.
report. So you never hear about white on white crime because it's not a thing. They created, black folks actually created that word. I can't remember what year it was, but they created that word. That is a gaslight word. Black on black crime is not a thing. Proximal crime is definitely a thing. But even
Yeah.
when you talk about that, there are more white people. It ain't by much, but there's just as many white on white crimes than there is
Crimes
black
as
on
well.
black crime.
Exactly.
But you never hear about that. And I take offense to when we're talking about crime, when we're talking about police, we always talk about black on black crime as if
Right.
races don't have the same issue. It's an issue. It's sick for us to be killing each other, but we're not killing each other not at a faster rate than anybody else, and we need to stop it. But that does not negate what's actually going on. And I don't think that those topics work in tandem with each other. Like, definitely there needs to be police reform. I actually think they need to get rid of throw away the whole thing and start over again. But that needs to be taken care of too. But I definitely don't think that we need to be talking about both as if black folks are killing. To me, it's comparable to you saying, well, since black folks are killing black folks, you shut the fuck up about police killing you. No, we need to talk about that shit because these niggas are getting paid to do what they do, and they're essentially getting paid to kill us, and there's no justice behind it.
So basically, what you're saying is that white folks is, goddammit, drive-by shooting in the trailer park.
Hey man, I'm not saying that. I just gave you the FBI statistics.
Yeah, they
I don't
actually
know
do.
if they drive by.
No.
I don't know if they shanking. I don't know what they doing. What I'm saying to you is that white people are killing white people at the same rate that they have black people killing black people. So why are we talking as if we're talking about reform, police doing something they shouldn't do? Why are we talking about black folks killing black folks as if we're the only people that are killing each other? Like, we're not.
Well, can you
We're
do
not.
this for me?
It's all wrong.
Can you do this for me? Because you talk about crime. Crime is a very vast subject. Can we get down to the murders? Let's get
That's what I was. No, those were murders. Those were strictly murders. I just gave. Those were murder statistics. Those were murders. Those were not crimes. Those were not crime. And what I read to you was because they had the statistic about how many white folks were killed, how many black folks were killed. Then they had subcategories: the white people that killed white people and the black people that killed black people. And they were damn near. They were all like, black people were like 20 points lower than white people, but it was damn near the same.
Okay.
John has something to say. He got his hand up.
In regards to crime, there's way more murder than just shooting somebody and stabbing somebody in the face. Right. Not giving people access to healthcare is essentially murder. It's just we've gotten so used to it. Like, fuck it.
It's legal.
People not having like or creating a food desert is essentially murder, but fuck it. Same thing when it comes to insurance companies. It's essentially murder, but
fuck it.
That's the US social policy. Fuck it. Or more so, fuck them. Because what happens, although white people get fucked out of, what did I say, insurance and healthcare and blah, 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 it always going to affect us worse simply because of the place they put us in. So all of that still is a crime because, I mean, you can add up all the drive-bys and all that stuff all the way back to the fucking crack eras and the heyday of all of that shit, and it still wouldn't compare to how many motherfuckers that let's just count black people that die because of the policies that these bitch ass fuck. We need to kill more white people.
You know what? And I don't know why it just popped in my head, but people seem to forget that. I mean, Chicago is known for drive-by shootings way back in the 20s and shit. It's just what happens. I mean, not trying to be funny, but shit.
Just chalk it up. I refuse to just chalk it up to like that's just what happens. We talking over 100 years ago, like that's a tradition here. Like that's a normality.
Al Capone, the Valentine's Day massacre and shit.
So wait. How many white? Wait, hold on.
And that was Italian on Italian crime.
Right, but that's Italians. Italians was the niggas of their day. Now we didn't took the baton, and we gonna be the new niggas doing the same bullshit. But this
and what's funny is it's fashioned after them. Look at all these little gangs that got mafia on the end or mob at the end and shit like that.
Right. Everything we get is from white folks. I get that. I understand. But what I'm
We
saying
get their
is,
savagery, I can tell you that.
right, because no, but it's a sort of mentality that we get. I think that arguably would go back to slavery. Is that I got a T-shirt made. I don't know if anybody ever saw it, and the shirt says "Black gangs equal white supremacists," something along the lines. And that's just my theory, is because it's Black folks is perpetuating white supremacy.
Because we're conditioned to.
But we have a choice.
No, we don't. Not if we condition from
I know you not going out there drive-by shooting, are you?
No, not everybody
And
is.
neither am I. So we
But
do
what-
have a choice. This the point. My whole point is this.
It's not, you know what? It's okay. We have said this almost every show.
Yeah.
You have to be aware of your options to make good choices. You have to be aware of all your options. A lot of people ain't aware of that because of the environment that they live in. We've said this, we've been around it and around it and around it. So my thing is yeah, you can make a choice, but not everybody is aware or cognizant of all the choices that they got.
I blame those people.
White people.
Great
No,
people.
I blame that person who's sitting there willfully ignorant of their choices.
Exactly. We live in the age of information. There's too much information out here to not know what you want to know. To
But
not be able
even-
to make a choice that you
But
want
what
to
you're
make.
talking about
But
information as
also the
opposed to
internet-
accessibility.
Our internets are trained to
Right.
show us what we want to see already. You have to basically willingly search for something
But you also
different
have
from
to
what you want to see.
you have to take it into account too, like we are in the age of information, but that doesn't make the fact that I know about it doesn't mean that it's accessible to me. I may know that I can go to college, but depending on, like, my daughter, I had to pay for because I work. When my daughter went to school, I had to pay for her semester. So I literally had to give them $12,000 a semester for her to go to school. Everybody's parent can't do that. I'm just
True.
fortunate that I was able to do that. And I had 2 kids in college. So just
Right.
because you have that information does not mean that it's accessible to you. So you're still, if it's not accessible to you, if you don't have the means to get there, then you have to figure something else out. But not everything that you can, just because you have the information and you know that it's there, some things are just, they're in front of you, they're just not tangible for you. And that's not an excuse for violence. But I
Right,
also want
right.
to point out that things that are normal, when you're in a household or a situation and they behave in a certain way and everybody around you they behave like that, you think that shit is normal. Like, just period. Your environment is going to dictate how you think and what you see as abnormal and normal. So that's what it is.
You have to be a product of your circumstances. You don't have to be a product of that.
You don't, but it's normal.
You make that choice. You, at a certain age, you become aware of everything that's going on around you, and you can weed out the bad from the good. You don't have to, and everybody don't have to go to college. Everybody don't have to have a career. You can have a person that went from pushing shopping carts to working at the damn store they was pushing the shopping carts at.
Sucking dick on Roseanne Cicero.
I mean, you could take the long road, but you don't have to go down that path that. You don't have to take that path that's gonna set you back. You don't have to do that. You can make a better choice with yourself.
Tamika, have you ever seen the beginning of Menace to Society?
Yeah.
I have, yeah.
So what did that boy see from the time he was little? His daddy and mama getting high, bagging up dope, shooting and fighting and shit.
That's normal. It was normal.
That's normal to him. You see, he really wasn't even fazed too much when his daddy shot and killed that dude and robbed the nigga after he shot him.
How do we explain to other people who grew up in the same situation?
He did not have to grow up into that. He could have.
But people can't get out of that situation. People can get out of that situation.
He grew up normalizing that situation. You see what
Wait,
I'm saying?
Ebony,
There's always
He didn't have to be a product of his circumstances. He could have made better choices. He could have made better decisions.
Everybody says that because they got a little bit more presence of mind. You don't know how conditioned somebody is. You don't know this person's mental state. You don't know when that trauma began and they started normalizing that shit.
I remember when I came back from the military, my children have been like, we've traveled everywhere. My kids have been everywhere. They went to school with different nationalities, folks from out of the country. They've been out of the country and all kind of stuff. When I came back to Chicago and I put my kids in school, my kids were damn near, if my son especially, terrorized because of how they talk, because they didn't see the world as those other kids saw the world, because what their world was their corner of the neighborhood, whereas my kids had seen different stuff. So when you talk about what's normal and what's regular, what was regular to my children was not regular to the kids they were going to school with. So they looked at my kids as abnormal. What my kids were doing, the way that they talk, what they knew, the way that they behaved was abnormal to them, because in their home and what they saw, it wasn't like that. That's not how Black people behave. That's not how Black people talk. And this is what mattered. So although
but that's just like being
hold on, let me finish.
From...
People can come out of those situations, but you usually come out of those situations. And I'm speaking for myself. I grew up on 79th Street. Different. I went to private school, and I had family that was in the hundreds. However, and everything that they were doing that shit was normal to me. I didn't realize that it was abnormal until I went to the service. Not when I went to the service, when I went to college, and I saw people doing different shit, behaving different way. And I'm like, man, when I came back home, it hit me that shit was fucked up. But it took me to leave and see something different to know that shit was fucked up.
Who told you to go to college?
Nobody.
Exactly my point.
What made you want to go to college then if you didn't know if you want to wear it?
Exactly my point.
Because I was tired of doing the shit I was doing. Like I had dropped out of high school my senior year.
Right.
I was smoking weed, drinking. I was just kicking it. I was in college and I was on the dean's list and decided one day I want to join the military. So I pretty much did what I wanted to do, but I felt like it was something that I wanted to do. And not saying, but again, the things that I saw in my environment, that shit was like, it was okay to me. It was.
So when you got tired of it, you looked for a better way.
You pulled yourself out of it. But
yeah, well,
that's just like
not everybody has what it takes to pull themselves up out of it.
We can't keep. Well, see, that's giving excuses. We can't We can't keep giving people excuses. That's excuses.
It's an explanation. I mean, at some point, it's not an excuse. It is actually an explanation. Now, some people might use it as an excuse, but that's different.
But look,
Malcolm X has a quote that says that you be very careful about how you judge people, because there was a time that you didn't know what you knew. So you have to be very careful and gracious with people, because just because you know it, the next person may not. It may take them a longer time to catch up. So this
isn't a judgment.
But I'm saying, when you're saying, oh, well, you pulled yourself out of it. Well, I may have came into it when I came into it. I may have came into it earlier than somebody else. But I'm very careful about saying, well, you can pull yourself up out of it, or you can get out of it, because at some point, I didn't know what I know now. And I didn't know that there was an option. I wasn't even thinking like college didn't hit me, join the military. None of that shit meant anything to me. And I really was doing it just for the sake of doing it. Like I look at my son now, my son has like goals, like plans, when he wants to go to college. I'm looking at how they doing shit. That was not me at 23. At 23, I was thinking about shaking my ass, smoking some weed, and finding the mountain on Redstone Arsenal. That was my whole thought pattern. So I'm very careful about saying it's an excuse, because what is normal for somebody and their life and their environment is definitely going to dictate how they think. And we have to be compassionate with people. We can show people, but we have to be compassionate with them. You can't just come in there and say.
The reason I don't know if it's maybe it's your motherly instincts and it's just how men think, but fuck all that compassion shit. You a goddamn man, or I have
not a man.
I'm talking about men. I'm talking to the other men. Exactly. Fuck your feelings. Fuck all that shit. Get a plan, figure it out. My daughters are my daughters, and I talk to them the same fucking way. Fuck all this shit. My daughter, 12-year-old, you're about to go to high school. Well, she's going to 8th grade next year, but you need to be thinking about what the fuck you want to do once you get to college. Yeah, you in 8th grade. Shut the fuck up. Figure out some shit, blah, blah, blah. How about you get on here and you want to do this? You want to do this? Okay, go on fucking YouTube and look up whatever career. Just see what the fuck it is.
But you're giving them some guidance, John. I had when my niece and my nephew, I got custody of them when they were, my nephew was like in 5th grade and my niece was in 8th grade. And her mother, I'm not even getting that situation, but her mother ended up moving with the other kids to Texas. And she wanted to claim them on taxes. So she called me and said she wanted the kids back. And my niece was like literally in the middle of 8th grade, getting ready to graduate. And what she told my niece was, oh, it's not that important that you graduate there for 8th grade.
Oh,
You know why it wasn't important? Her mama hadn't graduated from 8th grade. So it wasn't important for her. You know, if it had been left up to her, my niece would not have graduated, because what she told my niece was, it's not important for you to graduate for 8th grade. And it wasn't important for her because she didn't graduate. So she wasn't instilling in my niece that school was important, that graduating was important, excelling was important. That shit wasn't important to her. What was important to her was to get on public aid, you know, have a baby, get on public aid, live with a nigga. And like, she's never worked in her life. She got a bunch of damn kids. And nigga, you know, it's just a whole situation. But my point is, you're guiding your child. So your child has some kind of structure and a thought about, I need to get my shit together. Whereas you might have another child like my niece, her mother was telling her fucking 8th grade, you don't need to graduate from 8th grade. It's not a big deal. So when you have somebody telling you this, that's supposed to be your guardian, that's supposed to be looking out for you, that's supposed to know more than you, telling you it's not important to graduate from 8th grade, there's a problem. There's a disconnect, and that child is going to have a disconnect when it comes to certain things.
That's the parent's perspective. From the child's perspective, that child has some type of idea of, even if I want to do something, I want to do better, they have some type of idea of, I wonder what the rest is like. Because when you go to school, you notice everybody ain't like you. Some kids dress better, some kids dress worse, some kids, oh, my mom, I got 2 moms, I got 2 dads. Hey, I ain't got a mom, I ain't got a dad. So you know that other people exist outside of you. You know that down the street, Mr. Johnson, he gets up every morning, he's gone by 6 o'clock. This lady doesn't get up until 10. This motherfucker drive a Benz. I wonder what the fuck he does for like, that's natural curiosity. You watch TV and you're like, oh shit, is this real? Can people really do this?
But when I got custody of her, she dropped out of school.
Johnson that get up at 6 o'clock in the morning is also labeled a lame, and we don't want to be like him.
Okay. Now we get into something different, because you've got an option that you've seen. You just want to cross that off. Oh, this nigga lame. He got on the
I'm not there yet. But my niece, when I got custody of her, like I had custody of her, high school and everything. I'm a big advocate for school. She was an honor roll student, dropped out of high school and had a baby. Now, even after I raised her, because her mother had instilled that shit in her, she dropped out of school and she now has a baby. She has not finished high school. She has a child and she's working. No, it's not just the path that she chose. It's not just the path that she chose. It's the path that her mother showed her. Because even after I got custody, even though I didn't do that, even though I've taken her to Jamaica, she's been everywhere. She's not had a bad life. I expressed how school was important, how graduating was important, all that shit. I instilled the same thing I instilled in my children, I instilled in her. But because her mother had gotten hold of her, she now has a baby. She works at Walmart. She has not finished graduating. And that doesn't mean that she won't catch up and it'll get to her. But her that early on teaching of that school ain't shit is not important. And her mother has a bunch of kids. Her mother hasn't graduated. Her mother doesn't work. That shit affects you. It just does. It does.
Alicia, she was not the only girl in her school pregnant. She wasn't the first girl in her school
I'm not saying that she is, but I don't know I'm speaking from her circumstance and what I know and what I instilled in her and what her mother instilled in her. And I know that what I instilled in her was something different and better than what she's doing now. And not to say
she chose to go the other
way. And I'm not saying that she didn't make that choice. What I'm saying to her is that she had influences that told her that it was okay.
What she had been exposed to.
Exactly.
She made the choices because of what she had been exposed to.
But even if Alicia had never said that, she would have been exposed to the same message of having a child young and not getting an education is a very bad idea. That just would have.
Her mother told her that. I'm telling you.
No, I'm not talking about from mom. I'm not saying from mom.
But can we agree? Can we all agree that your parents are your first teachers, right? So we're talking about from a little girl. I was my child's first teacher. I was my son and my daughter. I was their first teacher. I taught them right from wrong. I told them what was important. We have an influence over our children when they're small, and we teach them the things that are important. Their environment. We teach them a whole lot of things when they are small, and they become accustomed to certain things.
Just think of it like this.
True. That is
think
true.
Of it like this.
Grow up.
Just think of it like this. Every man that hit a woman
grow up and you create
more
your
than
own
likely
man.
saw his father hitting a woman.
I saw my uncles
father
beat
hitting
the
a woman.
shit. I saw my uncles beat the shit out of their women. I saw my aunt's mom I saw all them get their ass beat. So why am I not whooping woman's ass? Why am I so adamant that you're not gonna whoop a woman's ass in front of me?
Well,
that's the
my
case.
thing is
Right.
that can be okay. It can be taken two different ways. You
That's my
either gonna
point.
go, you either gonna go against what you know, or you're gonna actually turn into what you know.
That's my
It's
point.
a
At some
choice.
point, I, Johnny,
There
have
are
to decide.
choices.
All right.
This
At
is
some
bullshit.
point, you made the choice to go that path. You chose that path for yourself. You cannot say you can't have an excuse for that because you chose that path. Now, if you just didn't know right, if you just didn't know right from wrong,
It's not an excuse.
period.
It's not an excuse.
But
It's
if
you're a product
was
of your
right
environment,
from
period.
wrong and
No, you're
you had
not.
somebody
You're a
telling
product
you,
of
whether
your
you had a
decision.
coach, a teacher, somebody telling you that this is the path, that this is what you can do, and this is what you can go. I don't care. I'm a victim of it all. So I know I can speak on it because I'm a victim of it all. And I've been a victim since birth. I'm a victim of everything, anything bad that can go, that has been done in society. I don't think I haven't been done. I have never in my life, I have never been molested or raped or nothing like that. But crackheads in my family, crackheads for parents, alcohol in my family, even down to the ones that didn't do drugs or didn't drink, but didn't have no education skill, no education background. The most they did was probably graduated from high school, didn't go no further, laid up and had kids, got involved with this man and that man. All of that. I grew up with all of that in my face. All that. I even come up. I lived in Cabrini Green my whole high school, all 4 high school years. I lived in Cabrini Green. I made the choice that that's what I did. I didn't want to be another victim to statistics. I didn't want to be another statistic.
But somebody could
Now,
look at
how
you,
many,
Tamika, and be like,
how
wait,
many-
but
how many
somebody could look at you and be
Tamika,
like, you could have done
how
better
many
with your
people in
life.
your family? How many people how many, do you have girl cousins and stuff around the same age as you?
Yes, I have a girl cousin. We grew up together. We both was born in 78. All of us around the same age. Our parents was having kids around the same age. We all grew up together as a family, and as a family together. We are cousins. We were strong, hung out together and everything.
We have 5 minutes, y'all.
In certain circumstances, and you know what, Alicia, you are absolutely correct, because in certain circumstances, I look at myself and say that I could have done better than what I done. But at the end of the day, what the point I'm making is, certain things I chose not to do. I knew that this is not what I wanted to do. I saw what happened to family members. I saw what happened to people around me, friends, my friends' parents and stuff like that. I saw how they turned out, and I made the choice that that's not what I wanted to do. So I went another way and did another path. It took me longer and took me harder. It took me longer and took me a little bit harder to get to the path I want, the path where I'm at, because like I said, school wasn't pushed in my family.
Point to me, like
Okay,
you
that's
just
the
said,
point I'm
what
trying
you
to
just
make.
said, you didn't
Your
get to
other
the
girl
point. It took
cousins,
you a long, it took you a
are y'all
while.
all doing the same
No,
thing?
I'm saying it took me longer to get to where I'm at. Like school wasn't pushed, so I didn't go straight to college.
But that's my point.
Like that.
But
The
that's
reason
my
why I
point.
didn't go straight, but see, the reason why I didn't go straight to college, because I literally had an auntie that raised me. And the reason why when I was a senior in high school, I was going on all the college trips. Everywhere. I'm talking about it. I was with Introspect. I was on with Introspect. All the college trips, doing everything. I'm talking about my grades, doing everything I need to do for me to go to college. My auntie told me, the one who was my guardian, she was my legal guardian. She told me, I'm not finna get them people no fucking information on me. You ain't going no motherfucking college, because you can go to college and still come out without a damn job.
Yep. You just said it took you a while to get there, and that's my point to you. Like just because they make a wrong decision don't mean hold on. That doesn't mean that they're out for the count. But you, just like you said, like you're where you are now. So don't forget the fact that it took you a while to get there. That's my only point. And your circumstance and your environment, and even your auntie. But your auntie, you just said your auntie was the reason that you didn't go to college. So your auntie played a part in that. That's not an excuse. That's a fact. Period. She played a part in that. So it took you a little longer to get to where you want to be.
It took me longer because I had to go another route around her.
But that's my point.
I had to go around, but I chose to. I didn't let that stop me. I didn't not go to I still when I graduated from high school, I still was enrolled that same fall year within the college.
But you made a choice. But
So
a
let me
choice is
answer
a
this
choice.
question.
So I mean, you don't have to. That's why I say I don't.
Hey, y'all, we
go
had 2 minutes. We had 2 minutes. Hold on, y'all. I don't want to cut everything off, but it's on y'all. If y'all want to do another one, you can.
I just wanted to ask a question.
Go ahead.
Tamika, about all your cousins, did all the same thing happen to you and all your cousins?
Mm-hmm. Yes, I have all my cousins that came up with me that graduated around the same time I graduated. Majority of them dropped out of school. Like I say, school wasn't pushed. Majority of the boys dropped out of school, started doing them. Got a couple of ones that did graduate. The females, we did graduate out of high school. A lot of my male cousins graduated out of high school as well. But the point is, we all came up with the same knowledge, but we all made better choice. Even like we didn't grow up, my family didn't grow up with daddies. We didn't know what fathers was. We knew of our fathers, but we didn't know what fathers was. But the majority of my cousins that's males got married at 18, fresh out of high school, started having family and everything. They married their women. They knew that, hey, I didn't want to have a child and my child not know me. They didn't know who their daddy was. We knew who our daddy was, but we didn't, like I say, I grew up with everything. I grew up in a different society. So I'm just saying, it's a choice you got, it's a choice. You make that choice. You know what you want and what you don't want to do. You see how you grew up and you choose not to go that path.
We had a minute, y'all. We had less than a minute, y'all. We gotta cut it short. Unless y'all want to do another one. Anybody want to do another one or no?
I can go, but you know I got to do everybody else.
I can go.
I'm on the road, y'all.
Got 2 votes.
I can go.
Ebony on some whole shit. I'm good.
I'm on the road.
Well, look,
we go bald head whole shit.
We gonna cut it short. Look, we gonna cut it short. We less than
my man. Don't forget that.
Oh, my bad. Yeah, what I got.
Solo.
That's a whole nother level of whole shit if you ain't. Yeah. Good point.
Look, we less than a minute. I want to